Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you on this very busy Friday morning. I've been watching the uh, PGA, and I'll tell you, I don't know if it's here or there, but the weather is very different. It looks warmer here, although I know it's not warm, but it's not windy. But there, it is freezing. I mean, it is freezing. The wind is blowing. It is you thought this morning that the guys would get up and maybe have an advantage. Scheffler, who led the tournament, first time he's ever led a major after the first round, was tied for the lead yesterday on what was a tough day. Today, though, the course is playing brutally hard. It is incredibly windy. The wind's blowing at a high level. There's gusts at a higher level. It is cold. People are wearing wool hats and everything. So the course is playing very, very tough. And I don't know if you're going to get an advantage this afternoon if it's going to warm up. I know the weather's supposed to be really summer-like on Saturday and Sunday. That pertains to here also. But clearly, the weather is impacting the PGA dramatically. Scheffler started the day 3 under. Now he's 1 under. He's bogeyed twice because he's missed the fairways, and it's very tough to play right now. Nobody's making any ground up. Nobody's scorching the course. Everyone's losing ground. So the conditions, and that's only right outside Pennsylvania. I mean, right outside Philadelphia. So you're not far away. We begin, of course, with the Subway Series. Now, if you go back a ways with me, you know that nobody is a bigger proponent or has ever been a bigger proponent than the Subway Series. I love the Subway Series. In our day when we were working, Dog and I would always do remotes on the first 2 games of the series. If it was something crazy, we would do the 3rd game too, but that usually on Sunday it was optional whether we went or not. I would go and take the kids and sit in my seats. But I love the Subway Series. I love the fact that it filled the ballpark, whether a team was doing badly or well. And usually it was the Mets doing badly and the Yankees doing well. But the point is, it gave a team a reason to define itself. It gave a team something to really hang its hat on and have a challenge with. And it also filled the ballpark. It has filled the ballpark forever. And even when people aren't filling the ballpark, they fill the ballpark for these games. And I tell you, we've seen so many crazy things happen. We've had so many traumatic moments. I think it's been great. I think it's been tremendous in every way. I've loved every minute of it. And I look forward to it, and I look forward to it again tonight. Now, the Mets come in off 3 wins against the Tigers. The Tigers came in playing brutally badly. And they are all beat up. They've won 1 game since the school news. They've got 5 guys out of the lineup. They are a bad team right now, and the Mets took advantage of it and came from behind and got good performances from the kids. So, they got a lift from Ewing. They've gotten it from the couple of youngs. Benji's come together. He's played a lot better. He's hit 300 in his last 30 or 40 at bats. And Ewing has come up and given them a lift. Now, the question is, are the Mets, the baby Mets and the beleaguered Mets, who showed some muscle yesterday, who hit some home runs yesterday, who put the injuries behind them yesterday and put all the bad karma behind them yesterday and flex their muscles a little bit and feel like they have something going on going into the series, are the baby Mets and the beleaguered Mets, are they ready for this? Can they beat a good team? And yes, the Yankees are a good team. The Yankees come in, obviously, on the back of the Freed news. We don't know what that is yet. They come in having lost 5 out of 6, which for them is unusual. But they're still the Yankees. And we know they're good. You got a great matchup right off the start tonight with Slitner and Holmes. Okay? The bottom line is, this is, to me, not about the Yankees, even though they've lost some games in the last week, even though they have a couple of pitching woes, no matter what's going on, this isn't about them. Nobody's wondering about whether they can be a playoff team this year or a winning team this year. This is about the Mets. Now the Mets' attendance in the Detroit series, it was okay. It was surprising to me in a couple of spots. I expected the stadium to be full, whether it's full with Yankee fans or Met fans, I don't care, a lot of families are divided. A lot of people go together. I mean, this is a different thing, Yankee and Met fans go together to the games. We know that. They go, they sometimes out of the same family, sometimes brothers, sometimes, relatives, sometimes best friends. We know what it goes on. And they give each other a hard time and they have fun doing it. Okay. This is a big couple of days for the Mets. If they can get 2 out of 3 out of this, they can really start to at least believe that they have somehow turned the corner. Stearns can think that for a minute. Mendoza can say that for a minute. The team can start to believe that for a second, that they have put, even though they got bad news to catcher, although, Alvarez wasn't doing great, but he's going to be out a while, long while. And Lindor's not, and I told you from the beginning, Lindor's injury was bad. It's not, he's not coming back anytime soon. His shit is starting to really puzzle me because he's having so much trouble with the fastball. And that's not been who he has been his whole career. I've seen guys come here and crumble. I've seen guys come here and take a year to prove their worth. I've seen guys struggle with the contract, with the city, with the whole thing. Really good players, even better players than Bichette. But boy, he looks bad. He doesn't get around on anything. Soto's gonna, I never worry about Soto. I did think Soto was hurt the other night, though. I did think he did something bad to his instep with that foul when he fouled the ball off his foot. I thought that was bad because it was really a shot. And those hurt. They dodged the bullet there because I thought they were gonna get bad news, and they didn't. But this thing tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow night and Sunday. And again, we don't know when the Knicks are playing yet. We'll see if things end tonight. We'll see if they don't. We'll see what happens. Crazy game. I mean, the Pistons lost the game the other night. I could give you 10 minutes on that. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. Up 9 with 2:39 to play and not score again in regulation. I don't want to hear about the foul at the end of the game. I mean, come on now. You're looking for gifts. I'm not giving you free throws there. I'm sorry. I am not deciding that game at that juncture off that setting when you let the other team get 9 straight points on the road and tie the game up. I am not letting you get a free throw with a second left. I'm sorry. It's not happening. So that is not happening. And I don't know, I didn't check on what the foul status was, whether that was shooting or not. Either way, I'm not calling a foul there. The bottom line is I dismissed that completely. I mean, I don't even wanna hear that. That's begging. That's begging at that point. They need to do better. And I've told you their problems offensively are so distinct that it just shows you they can be shut down completely as they were late in that game. Just bad possession after bad possession. Awful. But that's not what we're discussing right now. We're discussing the Mets and the Yankees. And this is gonna be fun. And I'll tell you something, I get a lift from it all the time. I don't go to as many of the games as I used to. Yeah, it happens. You get older. You just don't go as much. Kids are in college, that kind of stuff. I used to take them all the time. Um, I might have gone to one of the games. I think I probably would have if I hadn't been, convalescing. Uh, I always like to go to at least one during the year. This is gonna be a fun series. It really is. It's gonna be a fun series, and to me, the Mets have something to really prove here. Now, Am I gonna come away if they sweep the Yankees this weekend and say the Mets are a good team? I'm not doing that. No, not with that lineup. They still have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But at least, you know, they beat some bad teams. Then they beat the Tigers 3 straight, and right now the Tigers are a bad team. Let's see them beat a decent team. They haven't played a decent team. Now they're playing a good team. And now they're facing a big time pitcher this evening. A guy who is maybe ready to take his place among the greats in the game, as he really might be that talented. We're watching this unfold here. And Holmes has been terrific. He has had a terrific year. So this is a terrific matchup tonight. Looking forward to it in every way. I think the place will be hopping. Weather's good. I mean, I know it's not going to be really warm this evening. I know that's not the case. I know it's going to be warm tomorrow night. Tonight, game time, it's going to be 65 degrees, which is fine. Tomorrow, game time in the 70s. Sunday, day, 85 and sunny. So tomorrow night for game 2, which is a night game, it's going to be in the mid-70s for the game. Perfect May evening. And then 85 and sunny on Sunday. So you're going to need your sunblock. You're going to need your suntan lotion and your hats and your visors and everything, because you're going to be in what is going to be like a summer-like atmosphere on Sunday for game number 3. So that's where we are right now. Looking forward to it. And again, to me, it's all about the Mets. If the Yankees came in here and got swept, hey, they'd get a little grief. And people would be saying, wait a second, this streak's getting a little long here. Yankees are fine. I mean, Tampa's done an amazing job. Amazing job. But the Yankees are fine. I don't think anybody's who's a Yankee fan is really worried about the Yankees right now. But this gives the Mets an opportunity, a real opportunity. And go out there, and let's not talk sweep. Go out there and win 2 out of 3. And the Mets can puff out their chests a little bit. And the Met fans can have a little fun with this. And they can obviously accentuate their baby Mets here. Let's see what they're up to. Now, if you're looking for a betting angle, and there's a lot of stuff to be thinking about betting angles on now, the Preakness, PGA, basketball, and obviously baseball. Now, if you're looking for a betting angle, check out the top picks newsfeed in your BetRivers app. The BetRivers banter newsfeed is filled with picks from BetRivers personalities and handicappers who give you expert insights. And like I always say, take it, blend that in with your own ideas, what you're feeling, and everything. This, if you're someone who wages, it should be a fun hobby with extra money. This shouldn't be the milk money or the mortgage money. This should be excess money. Recreation. That way it's enjoyable, nobody gets hurt, and that's what you're looking for. Okay, tap the top picks icon in your BetRivers app and have some fun. Okay, now, NFL schedule. The NFL shows you. See, the NFL never has limits on the amount of goal they have, okay? They feel everything we do is so wonderful, is so well received that no matter what we want to do, there is no excesses to what we do. That goes for international games. That goes for siphoning off single games and putting them all over the place. Although I have to admit, what they set up from Wednesday evening of Thanksgiving to Thursday evening of Thanksgiving, if you're a football fan, I mean, that is a monster. I'm sorry. If you're a football fan, if you're someone who loves the NFL, and I do, I love the NFL games. There's a lot of the things in the NFL I could live without, but you're talking about Rams and Packers on Wednesday evening, and then Lions and Bears, Eagles and Cowboys, Bills and Chiefs. I mean, come on. All in 24 hours? Nirvana. Now, they put together these ridiculous TV specials to show you, first of all, they leak the games everywhere anyway. Everyone leaks the games all day for 2 days, 3 days. Everyone leaks all the games anyway. And who cares if you get the schedule on Friday or get it on Thursday or get it on Saturday or when you're gonna look at it? You got months to look at it. You don't need it at a certain point. I turned there was no basketball last night, so I tried and I haven't gotten a hockey team to jump behind. I put on the Canadians and the Sabres last night. I asked Barry Watkins who I should be rooting for. He said he's rooting for the Canadians because of his buddy. One of his buddies runs the team. Um, the Canadians were blitzing him. Game was over. That was it. I don't really have anybody to root for. I can't find a team that, the Avalanche is supposed to be the best team. I don't know I haven't hooked on to a team yet. I got to hurry up or the thing will be over before I hook onto a team to follow. But I've watched every minute of the basketball and no basketball last night. So I turned on the 2-hour presentation of this show and I lasted about 3 minutes, maybe 2.5, maybe 2.5 minutes. That's how bad it was. Okay. Mons is telling me Vegas with Tortorella. I love Tortorella. I forgot about him, Mons. You're right. I love Tortorella. I love Tortorella personally. I always did. I had a great relationship with Tortorella. So I really like him a lot. I know he's a pain in the neck, but I like him. I liked him. So so can Vegas can they win out there or that's like a long shot? Give me a yes or a no. Mons is the hockey guy. So give me a yes or a no, Mons. Can Vegas beat them? I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing anything. So you could type me an answer. Yes, he says yes. Okay. All right. All right. So I could root for Tortorella. That's a good point. I could root for Tortorella. I actually like him. Here's the thing. All right, overview. And we all spend too much time dwelling because there's so many factors that have come into play before these schedules. But what I look for in the schedule is I don't want to be avalanched with a run of games where I can't get an easy one if I need one. Okay. And I don't want to be on the road where I'm just getting beat up on the road over a 3 or 4 week period. Now, the Jets were completely disrespected. I really believe that if the NFL could have a situation where we don't have to televise a certain team based on last year's performance, I think they would opt for that for the Jets because they did everything but ignore that the Jets were in the league. No primetime games. Now, you're telling me they couldn't have found a Thursday night game in October before things get bad. All right, put the game in, make it a home game for the Jets. So you're giving them a little fighting chance. Put them in with the Bengals or put them in with the Ravens or put them in with I don't wanna say the Bills because I'm sick of that. Put them in even with the Pats and give them 1 game. They could have done that. To show them no games. No games. I know they weren't the only team, but no games is such a slap in the face. And then you realize that the Jets, Sunday at 1 is what this league is about. When you think of the league, years ago when Parcells and I owned horses together, we had a horse, a good horse, a nice, filly that we sold, big filly. She was 17 hands, she was a big filly, really good turf horse. If she hadn't had a problem with her breathing, she had an epiglottis problem, she would have been a real big time horse. She was good, but she had trouble breathing, you could hear her across the track. We operated on her because she had so much muscle, she trapped the wind in her epiglottis, and that was always a problem. Uh, we sold her as a broodmare to a guy, Adams, who was a big breeder in Texas, 'cause she was a beautiful horse. She won a bunch of races for us, but she didn't win in the stakes enough for us, so we sold her. We made money on her, but her name was Sunday at 1, and obviously it was Sunday at 1 because that's the NFL, Sunday at 1. Sunday is still the NFL, despite the NFL peeling off these games, and I do think that is something they should be cautioned about. When you own a day like the NFL does, nobody owns a day. Nobody in America owns a day like the NFL owns Sunday. For 22 weeks, they own Sunday. It's theirs. They're football Sundays. People live by ritual. They do the same things. They can't wait. They mark these days on their calendars. They live for these days. Don't ever give that away. That is so special. And you have your own day. Think about that. Religions are jealous. I mean, the NFL has an ardent fan base of 140 or 50 million people, and they have their own day. Don't ever give that away. But the Jets don't have to travel much. Now, early on, do I like what I see in the first part of the schedule? No, I don't. Do I see a couple of pitfalls in that schedule? Yes. But hey, with the Jets, no matter who they're playing, they can lose to them. We know that. This is about them just getting better. This is about them proving that this regime knows what it's doing, that this coaching staff can be competent or better, and that this team is headed in the right direction as they build forward towards another big draft yield. They had a big draft yield this year. They hope to have a bigger one next year. That's what this is about. So when you line up who they're playing, hey, they're going to have a tough time playing anybody. Now it's a different scenario for the Giants, who the NFL has welcomed back with open arms. Hey, Giants, welcome back to the real world. Welcome back to the living. You have a quarterback, you have a tremendous coach. We believe in you again. Welcome back. Welcome back. Here's a big game here. Here's a big game there. Here's a big game here. Here's a big game there. Here's a big game here. There's a big game there. Welcome back. Opening Cowboys. Hey, we've seen that how many times? 6 times in the last 12 years. Rams opening with 2 prime time games to start the season. The football giants. We are into a different set of encyclopedias here with the Giants. We are into a different existence now. Giants are back among the accredited in the NFL. They are among the living. They are not on that. They don't live in that area where the Jets live or where the Raiders live or where teams of that ilk live right now. Their schedule is not easy. It's got a couple of pitfalls that I could live without. But hey, you know what? You're going to live with the schedule and that's it. I mean, there's not much you can do. Is it is one that I think is listen, I look at this team and I see a team that I hope would be live, would be alive as they get ready to play the Niner game. And then the end of the schedule, let's be honest, it's brutal. They're gonna play the Niners, then they're gonna play at Seattle, all right? Then they're gonna play, all right, a winning game at home against the Browns, then at the Lions, at the Cowboys, and close with the Eagles. That is a brutal finish to the season if you're asking the Giants to, let's say they're 500 or a game above or a game below, and they still believe they can, inch into the playoffs. They're not mathematically eliminated. And then they're looking Niners, Seahawks, Browns, Lions, Cowboys, Eagles. That's a tough way to finish. There are going to be a lot of expectations. Do I think they're going to be a, 11 or 12 win team? No. If you ask me off the top of my head, I looked at the schedule. I say the thing that jumped out at me was 8-9. Okay. They win 8 games. That is a big step in the right direction. They're competitive. It's how they do it and whether they are alive late, that they have made themselves a team that can fight back and be competitive and take a run at making the postseason. And I think they can do that. They were doing that for a point last year before everybody got hurt. I think they can do that. I think Harbaugh will make that big a difference. I think they do have a quarterback. A lot of it's gonna be with what they do with the defense. The special teams are gonna be vastly improved. They're gonna be a very big power running team that makes its play off the power running. They utilize the fullback, they'll utilize double tight ends, they'll utilize tight ends in the slot, they'll do a lot of different things that show power. That's what Harbaugh believes in. Quarterback's gonna run some. You wanna temper his recklessness. You don't wanna temper his enthusiasm. You don't wanna temper his will to win, you wanna temper his recklessness and let him understand the difference between taking on a defender in the first quarter to get that first down and taking on that defender with 3 minutes left to get that first down. One is a football play, the other one is foolhardy. That's what he has to grasp. I think he will learn that. So for the Jets, all you're looking for is a bunch of games to play. Now, the Tennessee part of this early is comical on both sides. And the Jets can get their backs up and act disrespected because I would if I were the Jets and try and use that as a motivating force. But it's about them showing that they can be competitive first, show that they can walk. Last year, all they did was crawl. Show that they can walk. Then they'll show us if they can run. But show us first if you can walk. Now, the Knicks are gonna be back soon. We will be on after every Knick game. We'll be wall to wall Knicks. I know people are saying, "Hey, the Knicks thing hasn't gotten as much." Well, listen, the Knicks have made this very much a yawner so far. Those dramatic days, those enormous games, those circled dates on the schedule are coming. Is OG healthy? I don't know. First of all, they've never told us the depths of his hamstring injury. And even talking to the rehab people who, come and rehab me, and they're good. They're as good as the people who rehab. I mean, they're top of the line. They're as good as the people who rehab, you know, the Knicks and OG because a lot of them are the same people. You know, I've dealt with guys who have been at the top of the business, Rob Panarello, and people he's trained. Rob ran the Carolina Panthers for years. Uh, Everyone from Andy Reid to Parcells used to bring guys in for him to rehab. He's one of the best, okay? And he's a personal friend, and he comes to the house, and uh, he sends people that he trained, like Jess, who's another one who's gone on to big things in the business. And I mean, so they're as good as anybody in the business. They're HSS trained. They've worked with HSS, top of the line people, and they were even talking to me about how tricky hamstrings can be and how many things go into calculating that. It's very hard to know when a hamstring is completely healed. And with OG, you don't want to make the mistake. You want him to be healed because he's going to be that important. Listen, you might be able to eke by this next series because you're going to play a team that you're better than with a less than 100% OG. But if you don't have 100% OG for the final, you can forget any chance of doing anything. He would have to be at the top of his game for them to have any chance. Even then, it's going to be hard because you're going to be playing a great team. I think you're playing OKC. I mean, why wouldn't you? They haven't lost a game yet. The idea of the Knicks being off too long, hey, you can't have everything. When you beat teams up, you get a lot of time off. Whether you're OKC, whether you're the Knicks, deal with it, okay? It may take you a half to get back into a rhythm. Tough. I don't want to hear about being the victim of now your success, okay? That's nonsense. That's complete nonsense. We'll deal with that as we go forward here. I would not be surprised by anything I see in the Detroit Cleveland series. So if they force a game 7, it would not surprise me in the least. These teams have not been able to hold leads against each other. They have blown big leads against each other. They have played incredibly erratically. They have turned the ball over where you look at yourself and say, how do these teams even get here? The way they throw the ball away. Like Cunningham throws the ball all over the place. And they have to do a better job because they ask him to do so much. He's an easy mark on a double team, and they don't get a shot off. And they're getting nothing out of Durham. I mean, and while you know how talented Cleveland is, they're so erratic and so inconsistent. You just don't know what you're going to get quarter to quarter. So anything that comes out of that series would not surprise me. Anything. So if we're going 7 games, it would not surprise me. If it's over tonight, it would not surprise me. 2 game 6s tonight. Now, I told you a couple days ago, I thought Scotty would win I thought he would win the PGA. I watched him yesterday. He got off to, I mean, he just grounded out. He missed one little 2.5 footer and laughed. Other than that, he played a really good round. He hit all but one fairway. Today, he opened up in the wind and he bogeyed 2 of the first 3 holes. He right now is, he's 3 over par for the day. So the wind and he opened on the back 9 today, which is the toughest side. And the wind has really eaten those guys up. Very few guys are under par today. Very few guys. And he's 3 over. And Lowry's 2 over. And Thomas is 1 over. And Connors is 2 over. And down the list here. I mean, very few guys are playing under par today. Fitzpatrick's 3 over. He's playing with Scotty. Rose so the Scotty group is Fitzpatrick, Rose, and Scheffler. They are right now 8, 7, 10 over par through 5 holes. 3, 3, and 4 over par. They're getting eaten up on this course right now. So Scheffler's back to even par. Now the lead is only 3 under par. And that's guys who haven't teed off yet. Although Smalley so far, who's 3 under par, has come out and played the first 3 holes even par. So give him credit for that. And Reed, who came in today, 2 under par, has played the first 3 holes even par. He had a bogey, he had a birdie. He's played the first 8 holes even par. Give him credit for that. That has not been the case because if you miss the fairway right now and the way the wind's blowing, you can't get the ball to the green. The wind is blowing crazy. It's cold. It's unforgiving. They're playing now. He's got to get through the front side. I don't know if it's going to get better or worse in the afternoon. I don't know. We'll wait and see. They could catch a break this afternoon, and maybe the wind will die down. I don't know what's going to happen there. Um, but guys who were hot yesterday are not doing well this morning, who played in the afternoon. They're struggling. And again, led by world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, who was 3 under par, who led the tournament after one day. Now, it's the first time he's ever led a major after the first day where people were like, oh, here comes Scotty. Usually he's way behind and he comes back. He usually puts himself behind the first day. Watch out now. Well, he's come out in day 2 and he's shot 3 over par in his first 5 holes. Basically because he keeps missing fairways and because the course is playing incredibly hard. It just is. It really is playing incredibly hard. There's no doubt about it. He's got to get through the front side and then it should ease up. I don't know if the wind's going to drop down, but at least the other side is easier. Maybe he gets under par 1 or 2 by the end of the day, he'd be fine. But right now, the idea that he was going to run and hide today, which I did think this morning before I saw the course. And when they came out, I saw Fitzpatrick with a wool hat on. I'm like, uh-oh. And the course has been playing very, very tough. Now to the Preakness. I hope to have a Preakness horse for you by now. I'm not done my work yet. I looked at all the workouts this morning. There is a ton of speed in the race. You knew they're going to bet the Derby closers who are in the race, and they are betting them. Not surprising. That track, the track favors speed, but there is a lot of speed in this race. I will post. I will give it to Mons, and I will post. I'm going to tell you right now, I am really looking seriously, and I've gone through every one of the races of Dallas Stewart's horse. First of all, I always like Dallas Stewart in these races. Secondly, I like the way the horse has trained dramatically. I like the way he's come up to this race. I do not think he has to have the lead in these races. And I think if you look at the breeding, he should be able to get a route of ground more than you would think. I think he's going to be a long shot. I'm definitely using him. I haven't decided if I'm putting him on top or not. He's going to be a long shot. I'll be using him in all 3 slots. I'm not finished yet. I thought I would be by now, but I had to go back on a couple of horses and then I had to include a couple of the new horses that I didn't know enough about, the Pimlico horses or the Laurel horses, and the race at Laurel, not Pimlico this time, another Maryland track, Laurel. And I just don't have it finished yet, but I'm telling you, I am very heavily leaning. First of all, I've done very well with Dallas Stewart's long shots in the Triple Crown. They usually come from off the pace. I think this horse, with Johnny V on him, I don't think he'll be well off the pace, but I think he could sit mid-pack, and I think he can come forward off it, having looked at all his races. And I think there's some hidden form there. So I will be using him. I always liked Bolt de Oro. There's a couple of Bolt de Oros in this race. I always liked him on the track. I always thought he would be a good sire. He's been okay. We will post that for you later on today. Okay. By tonight for sure. Okay. So if you're interested, I know I didn't win the Derby, so I broke my streak, but I will see if I can start a new one. But I will be using a long shot. I will be using the Dallas Stewart horse, and I think he could be a surprise in this race, in maybe even the second slot or even possibly there's one speed horse I'm afraid of that could shake loose and really cause a problem. But I think there's so much other speed in the race, I don't think he's gonna get away. There are a lot of speed horses in this race, a lot. It's not a bad race, it's kind of a weird race. You don't have a lot of classic horses here that you would expect to have on the Derby Trail, but you have some it's an interesting 14-horse race, it really is. And I think it could be a good betting race. So from that standpoint, I promise that for you later. Again, we'll be with you all the way through the Knicks series. As soon as it starts, we'll be with you post game every single time. The Knicks deserve to be favored over either team. I think they pose very different problems, but I think the Knicks will beat either one and are headed for the finals. But they need to get OG back and healthy. And that's a big plus, and I don't know that that's a given yet. And enjoy this evening because I tell you, as I've said a million times, I love the Subway Series. I really do. I think it's one of the real special things that happens in the baseball season here. I get the biggest kick out of the Yankees and the Mets. I love these series. I always have. I've loved being in the building. I've loved everything about it. So the idea that people act like it's old or played or anything else, I say not a chance. Go sit in that stands when they're going back and forth and tell me that you don't enjoy this stuff. It's fun. It just is. And for the Mets, it's an opportunity. Will the baby and the beleaguered Mets be up to the challenge? That's really the storyline of the weekend. Not the Yankees, even though they've stumped their toe. Not the Yankees. Not Judge and Rice and Bellinger and all their power and all their swagger and everything else that comes with it. The Mets. The woefully, at times, inept Mets. And how are they going to do game one against really one of the dynamic power pitchers in baseball? Fascinating to watch. Can't wait. Enjoy.